You ever just look up at the night sky and wonder, is there another planet out there just like ours? You know, a potential Earth 2.0? Well, that's exactly the cosmic question we're diving into today, and we're going to zoom in on one of the most promising candidates we've ever found, a world called Kepler-452b. First things first, you've got to appreciate the sheer scale of what we're talking about here. We're not just looking in our solar system's backyard. Oh no, this is a search that stretches across the entire cosmos. Honestly, the hunt for habitable planets, it's one of the biggest, most ambitious quests humanity has ever been on.
And this picture, wow, it just nails the scale of the problem. Imagine every single one of those little dots is a star, kind of like our sun, and most of them probably have planets whipping around them. So scientists are basically sifting through this cosmic ocean, looking for that one special little speck that might actually support life.
So out of that massive, massive search, a few interesting candidates have started to pop up. But there's one in particular that has really captured the imagination of astronomers everywhere.
And here it is, our leading contender, Kepler-452b. Okay, so it might not be the catchiest name, I'll give you that, but this distant world, it is seriously considered one of the most important discoveries in the search for life beyond our little blue marble.
Now take a look at this number, 1,200. Just let that sink in for a moment, because what it represents is, well, it's pretty mind-boggling.
That number, that's the distance. Kepler-452b is about 1,200 light-years away from us. Now, to put that into perspective, just one light-year is almost 6 trillion miles. With the tech we have right now, it would take us tens of millions of years to get there. So yeah, this potential new home is definitely not in our cosmic neighborhood.
So you might be asking, why are we so excited about a planet that's so ridiculously far away? Well, it all comes down to a kind of checklist for life. And let me tell you, Kepler-452b is ticking some really, really important boxes.
And the first, most famous thing on that list is something we call the Goldilocks zone. And yeah, it's just like the story. It's that sweet spot around a star where the temperature isn't too hot, it's not too cold, but it's, you guessed it, just right for liquid water to exist.
And boom, here's our first major clue. See that blue band there? That's the star's habitable zone. And Kepler-442b orbits right smack in the middle of it. Its star is what's called a K-type, so it's a little smaller and cooler than our sun, which means the planet has to get a bit cozier to get that just right temperature. This is a huge deal, because liquid water is the absolute key ingredient for life as we know it.
But look, a good location isn't everything. You also need some solid ground to stand on, right? And unlike a gas giant like Jupiter, scientists are pretty darn confident that Kepler-442b is a rocky planet. Now you're probably wondering, how in the world do they know that from so far away? Well, by measuring how the planet's gravity makes its star wobble, they can figure out its mass. Combine that with its size, and you get its density, which points straight to a solid, rocky world just like ours.
So let's just break it down. We have a rocky planet with a solid surface orbiting its star at the absolute perfect distance for liquid water. When you put those two facts together, you get one of the most compelling cases for an Earth-like world we have ever found.
But, and yeah, it's a very big but, this is where our detective story kind of hits a brick wall. The case is far, far from closed.
Which leads us to the billion-dollar question, right? Have we actually found Earth 2.0? Is it time to start packing our interstellar bags?
Well, not so fast. Because for all the promising signs, the most important details are still a total mystery. We have absolutely no idea what kind of atmosphere it has, or if it even has one. We don't know for sure if water is actually there. And the biggest question of all, is there any life? That remains completely unanswered.
You know, all this uncertainty, it kind of forces us to look beyond the pure science of it all. It brings up a really fascinating and, honestly, a much more personal question for every single one of us.
So just take a second and imagine it. A whole other world, thousands of trillions of miles away, that just might have life. The possibility, just the possibility, is absolutely staggering. And that brings us to our final question for you. Let's just pretend for a minute that we figure it all out. The technology, the travel, the whole shebang. The journey is possible. So, would you go? I mean, really think about it. Would you leave everything you've ever known to start a new life on Kepler-442b? Or would you choose to stay right here? on Earth.